Welcome back to the Wheel Brick. Today I'm going to be reviewing the LEGO Speed Champions Mclaren F1 team MCL38. This is set 77251. It has 269 pieces in it, and it is part of the 2025 Formula One series for the Speed Champions. Here's a look at the back of the box. You can see the back of the car with the real car, the helmets, and the controls. And then the top view, it's pretty much the same across the board for all of them. So let's get into building it. So inside the box is pretty standard across all these Speed Champion sets. There's 6 bags plus a sticker sheet, and then the instruction manual, and then of course the base for the car. I did want to kind of state here, because I've had a lot of comments, why do I not have the paper bags? I personally have not ran into the paper bags yet. I'm not sure. I don't know if it's a Europe specific thing or if it's a certain parts of the US in certain states thing. I'm not sure, but if I ever run into the paper bags, which I hope I will in the future, I'll definitely show them. So here's the completed model on this McLaren MCL38 race car, F1 car. So just a little overview. I have the 2023 model right here, so I'll be comparing that. Of course, I'll be comparing these two. Let's get into it. So first up, we're going to leave these to the side for right now, and we're going to just focus on the two McLaren F1 cars to start out with. So starting up front here, you can actually see, and it's actually better to see on the side view of the front nose. This one's more flat, and unlike this one where it's more curved. So back up front here, we have the chrome sponsorship here, and of course it only is McLaren right here, but to make up for that, we have a little chrome emblem on the front nose here. And of course, on this bridge part here, we have different sponsors because of course, this is a 2024 race car versus a 2023. So of course, different seasons are going to have different sponsors. And you can also see this one's kind of just made with Technic beams for the axles. It doesn't have this fancy brand new piece that they made for the 2025 F1 series, or I should say this is a 2024 car, not a 2025 car. And you can also see there's a lot more blue accents on this one in particular versus this. They went back to orange and black instead of orange, blue, and black on the 2023 car. Moving on up here, of course, we still have the mirrors, same way done. The halo is actually different. This one has a part that's onto here, and the halo moves like this. Unlike this one where the halo, the entire thing moves. They're both orange. They didn't change that. Of course, you have a different helmet for the F1 series that is a specific mold. And then up here we have the telecast system. This is actually a sticker instead of just a brick-built piece. Moving back to the side, of course, we still have the chrome center caps, not like actual like shiny chrome. I meant the like chrome like as in Google Chrome. One change I can notice here is that there is yellow striping for the tires, and this one is white. I honestly think that the white looks better, but I am kind of afraid about the white when it as it ages, because white Lego bricks have, like, they turn yellow as they age, so I'm kind of concerned about that. In here we have some about the same sponsors, few other little different touches, like this fin here is different than this, obviously. The side blades are different, obviously. The one thing I don't like about this is that they have a studded piece here. I wish they would have just made this its own custom piece and not have it be studded, because it kind of looks stupid. Moving on back to the fin here. The fin is actually pretty, actually it's the exact same. This one is just kind of built up more, but they still have the chrome branding on it. Of course, there's some other sponsors that are, the sponsors are about the same. They're just kind of located different places on the actual car. This here we have these little, this nice rounded printed piece, and here we don't have any of that. It's just a different shape. But then again, this is a completely different car from this. This is the new generation McLaren race car, and this is the old generation McLaren race car. So of course there's going to be some differences. Moving on back to the spoiler here, we have one continuous slope piece, and this is all brick built back in here. I honestly think this one looks better. It looks a lot more sleek, and of course when you run your finger across it, it feels all smooth. This one, you get your finger caught up in it. Moving on back here, we have Dark Trace as the sponsor on this one versus just the McLaren branding here. So back here we have the fog light on the back here, and I think this one's actually done a lot better than this one. I personally, yes, you could say, oh, it's brick built on this one. That's obviously better than a printed piece. But if you look on the actual race cars, it's actually more, this is more accurate. Of course, also we have the exhaust like this one has, and of course, we also have the fatter rear tires as in all these other F1 sets for 2025. Here we have the McLaren next to the Red Bull and the Ferrari car, and I think this is the perfect trio, if you ask me, on the iconic versus like who's doing the best in F1 right now, which Ferrari, McLaren, and Red Bull, and Mercedes obviously also. I don't have the Mercedes car at the moment. I'm going to get that in the future, and of course I'll make a video on that once I get it. So starting up front here, of course, it's pretty, actually it's the same across the board for the front splitters on these. And of course the front bridge, and then the axles. The only thing different is of course the sponsors and the branding. Where it gets different is actually on the sides. Of course, we have different side blades for the Red Bull car. We, of course, have the different side blades for the McLaren car. And then for the Ferrari car, you guessed it, we've got more different side blades for this, which I think is really nice to differentiate these. And also for the building experience. The building experience on all three of these is completely different, which I was kind of scared of when I saw these. I was like, oh shoot, that's going to be a really repetitive deal. It's really not. It feels a little repetitive, but it's really not that repetitive because they've made it different enough as you can do with F1 cars, but not too different at the same time, if you know what I mean. Moving on back of these cars, let's go ahead and flip this one around too. There is no branding on the back of this one. Of course, they're actually all the same on the back. Of course, because it's F1 series, there's certain things you can and cannot do. You have to have kind of the same on these cars. But they have the Oracle Red Bull branding here. We got the McLaren branding here, and there's no branding on the back of the Ferrari because you just kind of have to know. So I just wanted to show here, of course, I have the 2023 McLaren car, F1 car, and then I also have the City Series McLaren F1 car, and this one is rated 6+, unlike this one's rated 10+. So of course this one's going to be a lot more simple with a lot less branding on it, meant for littler kids. And then I also have the polybag set of this car here. This is the little McLaren. I think they did really well on this. So what are my thoughts on the 2025 F1 series? Of course, the McLaren here. I'm a huge McLaren fan, obviously. I think this is the perfect trio right now. Of course, I'm missing the Mercedes because they're doing really well also. But I really recommend this for any F1 fan, racing fan, or even just a regular old car fan. These are really cool sets, especially for the $26.99 US price of these. They're not too expensive. So yeah, Let me know what you think. Put them down in the comments. Make sure you follow The Wheel Brick on Instagram. Subscribe to The Wheel Brick, and I will see you next video.